Hello everyone, I'm Kristina with the Monticello Chamber and I have Kip Christensen here with me today, and we're diving into the highlights from Chamber Day at the Capitol last week. Kip and I and Leah from Queen Bee's Floral and Gardens and Marlena from G&M Outdoors joined us as well. But we wanted to jump on and share with you our experience and kind of what the Chamber Day at the Capitol is and some of our takeaways.
That's a great way of teeing this up. Well, what we do here with the Monticello Chamber is a really important service, and we see it in our lives in the interaction with local businesses and constituent services, introductions to people that can help with local policy issues at the city government, at the county level. Very good connective tissue for that. That's the great thing about every local chamber, especially Monticello. There's also that connective tissue with our state legislators and at the federal level. So this Chamber Day at the Capitol was all about how does the chamber serve us in its lobbying capacity and its interaction with our members and with other lobbyists. How are we shuffling legislation through the session? What does that look like? And I heard that you guys really got kind of an eye-opening experience out of that.
We did. So it was my first experience attending Chamber Day at the Capitol, and it was really enlightening we started the day with several panels of different representatives talking about important business policy, the current status of where those bills are in legislation, and listening to the passion and kind of the hopes. And also attendees during the morning were able to advocate, ask questions of their representatives concerning some of the local issues we're seeing here. So that was a really neat piece to be part of.
It was neat. There were business owners and members from across the state represented. The panel, so the Speaker of the House spoke, shares the chair on the House Budget Committee. And we had a bipartisan blended experience perspective. We really got a first-person view into kind of the complexities of this session as they're trying to share power in a unique and rather unprecedented way. It's a mess for what the state has been from the last several years, paid family, PFML. So with government affairs coming back on, one of our core objectives is to bring good policymakers, lawmakers, but also these people that work with them at the Capitol, at the county, at every level of government, bring them to you to be able to directly to people, provide a little bit of insight. This could include quarterly meetings where figuring out exactly how that's going to work for certain of these policies, exposure and access. Put you actually in touch with the administrator at DOR, right? Have them come out here and speak to members, and I think we can facilitate that over the next upcoming quarters, and that's very exciting. We learned a lot about best practices. We're well represented by the Minnesota Chamber and what they're doing at the state level and at the federal level. That doesn't mean that everything they're fighting for small business is going to be a huge win, but the best way we can arm them in the work that they're doing, because they need our powerful stories at the Capitol. Most policy is driven by the powerful stories of the people we serve, right? And knowing the people that are impacted, knowing their specific stories in each of their local communities, that's the most powerful thing to be able to affect better outcomes. And when you've got policy that's really contentious, those stories really matter. And so we're trying to build that connective tissue, build those relationships, make sure that our members have direct access with those that can really assist in the most impactful way. And you met a couple of those legislators.
Yeah, and they specifically noted several times that those personal testimonies are very helpful, and that's how the messages get carried, and the only way the representatives have those stories, so hearing from us as a community is very important. We got to meet several representatives. We took a tour of the Capitol. Kip introduced us to several representatives along that tour, so it was
it wasn't a formal tour, it was a pretty informal tour, but grab people along the way. They spend all day every day down there,
and they loved telling us about it. You could see their eyes light up, and just things that really stand out to them within the Capitol is fun to hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Kip alluded to, we are relaunching our Government Affairs Committee here in the Monticello Chamber, and we love to hear from our members. It's really important to us to hear kind of what's going on within your businesses, how it's impacting you. personally, your clients, your customers, kind of what's going on for you. So feel free to connect with us because our goal is to focus on and address those local issues. Kip even mentioned we would love to coordinate some different quarterly opportunities for you to meet our local representatives, hear from them, and to also share our voice from the Monticello community.
It's really helpful for your representatives, for their staff, especially for important pillars of the communities they serve, like you guys, to have that direct line of communication, those relationships already established. I know for many of us, we don't want to care about politics. We don't want to care about government. We don't want to care about what's happening down at St. Paul. We just want to keep our blinders on and focus on our business and focus on it. And that's all well and good, except all of those other factors care a lot about impacting your life. And they're not going to stop, and they're going to keep changing policy and keep impacting our business. And the best way we can advocate for ourselves is to be engaged, to pay a little bit of attention, to be connected with the right resources that are going to be our best advocates, and to just kind of stay in the loop. And the local chamber does a great job. We want more of you to be involved is really what we're saying.
Yeah.
We want more people involved with the government affairs, with the local chamber in these discussions as we broaden it out to members. And then in Chamber Day at the Capitol next year, we would love to have a healthy contingent go down and be able to, because Monticello was well represented. Even with just the four of us, we were well represented. Great to have our voice at the intersection of energy, at the intersection of data centers, at the intersection of business, of small business policy, manufacturing. Everything hits Monticello in a very powerful and unique way. And I think we had a compelling story to tell. We ask everybody to get involved, stay involved, make sure that our voices matter as a city. And the best way you can do that is reach out to the team at the Monticello Chamber and learn how to advocate more powerfully for yourselves and your families.
All right, well, that was our recap of our experience at Chamber Day at the Capitol last week.
Yeah.
We're glad you joined us. Like Kip said, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you next time.
Awesome.